Well, hey, listen, welcome again. This is our weekly Thursday night Financial Edge University live webinar. We want to welcome to this information, and now that is my cue. Well, hey, listen, this information that you get ready to hear, the gentleman that's presenting this brings his own success, has been, I tell you, thousands, teams of thousands of people he's been able to build. The gentleman knows how to build and build big. His knowledge in the industry and experience has helped propel MWR at home to be the #1 ranked full financial makeover company in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the call our president of MWR Financial, Mr. Ndamo Tosin. Mr. Tosin, are you there?
Yes. Do you hear me well?
Man, I can hear you loud and clear. Screen, we can see you. The webinar is yours.
Okay. Thanks, Daryl, for always being available, being here, steady to welcome everybody. Your consistency is applauded, and you've done an incredible job here helping us get started on our Financial Edge University every Thursday night. So we appreciate all that you do. And ladies and gentlemen, you're going to hear from me tonight. Not the expert, but I know about this area, so I'm going to talk to you about it. We'll kind of go right through the PowerPoint here. It's talking about land banking tonight, so that's what we're going to discuss. And you're going to see how land banking could add a passive portfolio, passive income to your portfolio. So let's talk about exactly how that goes. Let me do something real quickly first, and then we should be good. Okay. All right. So one of the things we know is that there are 4 ways to earn income. Many of you are very, very familiar with Robert Kiyosaki. You see here the cash flow quadrants. As you see, you have the employee and self-employed, and that's where 95% of people in America are. They're either employed and they have a job, but they have no leverage because they're trading time for money, or they're self-employed where they actually own a job and they're still trading time for money. What I love that MWR allows you to do is give you the trap door, because this line in the middle that separates the left side from the right side is like the Great Wall of China. Very, very few people can get over here. But here as a business owner, where you own a system and then you leverage people to help you make money. Well, to do that, to be a business owner, and they're talking about not just a business owner where I have friends that have, like, say, for example, they own a Subway and they have like about 20 employees. That's a business owner, but that's not a big business. That's how I like I say it that way, so it makes a point that this is talking about in the cash flow quadrants. This B quadrant is a big business owner, which means he has 500 employees or more. Well, what MWR allows you to be able to do is to literally give you the trap door so you can own a system where you can build a distribution network of people where it's not 100% based on your efforts, and you're able to leverage yourself with others. So that's powerful, but here's where it's uniquely different from any other company in the industry, in our industry, what MWR gives you the ability to do. Everyone will kind of talk to you about this. They may even show you this. And in they say, well, figure that out. Hopefully you made enough money here to figure that out, but not here at MWR, because what we do is we help you make wealth real. So what does that mean? That means that we help you generate cash flow out of your existing finances. And then if you decide to build a big business, you can also generate income as well, and it could be significant, from $5 a day all the way up to $8,500 a day. And you can use that to then get into this I quadrant right here where you own investments. One of them we talk about is a PRA, but tonight we're going to talk about land banking, and this is where your money makes money for you. This is where we all want to go. This is all we're going to focus on tonight, is the I quadrant. So let's talk about how we multiply, and I want you to make it personal, multiply my money. Well, what we do is we help you start your money making more money for you, because you get unlimited consultations with real wealth experts. They do a professional analysis to develop the best plan for you and your family. And land banking, understand, is real estate investing where you're buying land in the path of growth at 20 to 40% below market value. These are some of the same strategies used by the wealthy. Now, what is land banking? So land banking is buying the land before it's needed for development, then holding it for about 7 to 10 years, and then selling it for more than you bought it for. Now, major companies and investors have been building wealth this way for centuries, and you can too with $40,000 or more in cash or existing investments. So let's talk about why land banking and what it's all about, and you'll understand the power of what we're going to talk about here. See, this 60-mile radius here in the Los Angeles area is the 15th largest economy and the number 2, so it's second in the entire United States. It's called the Los Angeles megalopolis. So it comprises of over 50% of California's total population. More than 19.2 million people live in this area. I happen to be one of them, so I know what kind of traffic that creates. It's expecting 1.9 more million people to come there in the next 10 years. And if this is how big this is, there are more people that live in this basin, this area right here that they're showing, in the Los Angeles basin than in Oregon, Nevada, Arizona, Idaho, Utah, Montana, Wyoming, and New Mexico combined. That's how significant that is. And this is northern Los Angeles County. So here's Los Angeles County right here. This is kind of downtown LA, right where you see me kind of scrolling here. And then this is just above that. So we goes right through the mountains, and you can see this is another flat area, because if you look at the topography, there's mountains here, here, then all down here you can kind of tell it's been built out, and then you have this area here. It's known as the Antelope Valley. Well, I want to help you understand land banking so you really understand what we're looking at, because some people think, oh, buy land in the path of growth, and that means like one city's over here, miles away, 20 miles away, there's another city maybe another 20 miles away, and then hopefully these cities are going to, and everyone's saying that they're going to one day come and merge, and you're kind of sitting here in the middle of nowhere with this land. That's not the case. What happens is, you see, this is kind of the parcel of land that we're talking about. So you can see all of these companies, a Walmart, Home Depot, a hospital, a 24-hour fitness, Target, an auto mall, a park, Costco again, or I didn't say Costco, but Costco, transit authority, a courthouse, a regional airport. You can see all these things are right here, a college, a hospital, a large hospital, another Walmart supercenter, elementary school, a university. It's all right here, very close. So you can see the land here. You see this is land. This is what we call buying land in the path of growth. The growth is all around you. It's much like when you were growing up. If you took me to if you grew up in the city you live in currently, or you've been there for 20 years or more, you could probably take me to areas and say, I remember when this was nothing, and now it's hard for me to remember when it was nothing, because now this has all been built up, and there are shopping centers, or they built an office building, or they built a church, or they built a community center, they did something, retail spaces, and it doesn't look the same. That's what we're talking about here. So I want you to understand this is land banking. You're seeing kind of an overview of a map of where all these things are going on, and you're able to buy parcels of land right in the path of growth before they're needed for development. Now, and that's where we're showing you here, the Kaiser Hospital, and that's what I'm going to talk to you about this Kaiser Hospital here in a moment, and I'm going to talk to you about this courthouse. These are major entities that are being built. Now, Walmart is an indicator, and I want you to understand what they do. An average Walmart is designed to accommodate the shopping needs of about 250,000 neighborhood residents, and the world ranked by economy, if Walmart were a country, would be number 19. So they don't make mistakes when they go into an area. They have to look and see what happens. And many other well-recognized brands are in this area that we're talking about here. So this is the Antelope Valley Mall, and that's what this whole area is considered, Antelope Valley. And you're seeing some of the things that are built all around here. You see, Red Lobster. I know that's a national company. I think Bevmo and Target and Ross and Lowe's and Sit and Sleep, Kohl's, Office Depot, Sam's Club, Sonic, Olive Garden. I mean, these are companies that are around. Ashley Furniture. So they're generally all over the country, and so you can see they're all here. They're all here, and they're built all around the area. Now, here's where success starts to leave some clues. Billionaire in AV Solar and a BYD. So what is that? So Palmdale, this happened in Palmdale, which is one of the cities that comprises the Antelope Valley area. Investor Warren Buffett, one of the world's richest men, is investing in Antelope Valley. The Mid-American Energy Holdings, a company owned by the billionaire, has spent more than $2.5 billion to build twin solar projects originating proposed by SunPower west of Rosamond and Lancaster, and those are cities right within the Antelope Valley area. So he's done this there, but also he spent $230 million on the acquisition of a 10% stake of BYD Auto Parent, which is BYD is an auto parent company. This is a green energy, zero emissions electric bus that's being built. And this is going to happen in one of the, and you'll see, I'll talk to you about this in a moment, but they have a factory that's going up right there in the high desert. Now, they call this the high desert of California, so of the Los Angeles area. And so Kaiser Permanente, which is a major hospital chain here, is the first to implement a sustainable energy design. So when it's building, it qualified for the leadership in energy and environmental design, which is called LEED. It got the platinum certificate from the U.S. Green Energy Building Council. Now that starts to help you understand. This is one of the most advanced from a zero emissions, not putting a carbon footprint for a hospital in the country. And then this other healthcare facility in 2015 won the National Design and Build Project Team Award. So things are happening here. Then you talk about the Transit Village and Center. So what's happening is Antelope Valley housing is more affordable than most of Los Angeles and Orange County. This is where you can go and find affordable housing. What they're doing is phase one was they were in this area. They're building a phase of a master plan transit-oriented development right in Palmdale. So if you can see these condos and apartment-style homes and things like that, you could literally buy them, live there, and then the transit ability to get on a train or a bus, things like that, is right next to it. Now, phase two, they're going to feature 122 townhomes that is currently in construction. Then you also have the L.A. Palmdale Regional Airport. At one point, LAX, which many of you guys have heard of if you ever flown in Los Angeles, LAX at one time was going to annex it, and they were going to allow it. But then when this growth and they started seeing what was going to happen and some of the elements that made the Silicon Valley, which we'll talk about in a moment, they said, no, we're going to keep this airport for ourselves. So that's what's happened. You also see that the work has begun on the high-speed rail. Now, the Arctic, which is in Anaheim, which I remember when it was first built, you were like, what in the world is that? What are they? I thought it was going to be, because it's right next to where the Ducks play, and it was called the Honda Center, and it may be named something else, renamed now. And then Anaheim Stadium, which is the baseball team for the California Angels, is on the other side. So it's right off the freeway, right next there, right there. And everybody's wondering what the heck it was, Well, it's in place to serve commuter needs. See, they're going to build a project that costs $180 million. That's what this building, and it's going to provide a transportation hub for the high-speed rail. It's already built. So it's not something that's coming. This is already there. I've seen it. It's amazing, and it's already there. So it's letting you know all these things are already taking place. So this high-speed rail is going to be between Los Angeles and Las Vegas. So there's a 230-mile route with a stop planned in Palmdale, and service throughout the Los Angeles area will use some of the same tracks as a California high-speed rail. Now, the project officials have confirmed that they will begin to build in 2019. Richard Branson, which I know you heard of from Virgin, just say that because Virgin everything, Atlantic, all kind of stuff he has partnered with a company called Brightline. And Brightline has already secured approvals and permits from a number of the federal agencies for the initial 185-mile route. So what it's showing you is that these are some of the routes, but this blue is going to kind of come up here from L.A., get into Palmdale, and then that blue is going to take you all the way to Vegas. That's kind of the route that's going to take place. So it's absolutely amazing that that's happening. Northrop's deal to build a new stealth bombers. Now listen to this. They're going to create thousands of new jobs. There's 100 long-range bombers over the next decade. These are these next generation bombers. Going to create 6,000 plus new aerospace jobs that are coming to Palmdale. So you have NASA, you have the Air Force, and Navy are all redesigning major weapon systems and all have significant facilities in this area. See, the same elements that existed to create the environment for the Silicon Valley that had you known about it in the 50s and 60s and 70s and even the early 80s, you could have taken advantage of it and just made a fortune because you could have bought the land so inexpensively at that time. But once the dot-com boom happened and it became known as the Silicon Valley, now you have Google there, you had Tesla there, you had all these app companies. So I'm not a big app person, but let's just say you have what's the where you drive, and Uber is there, and every Facebook is there. All these kinds of companies are there in that area and comprise that area. That's why it's known as a Silicon Valley. Well, this area is going to be known as the Green Energy Valley of America. It's becoming the high-tech hub. See, and so all these economics letting you know it's ready for business. It's ready to make some things happen. Do you realize today it's all about material sciences and advanced computer technology? That's where everyone's going. It says all the efforts are bringing in a new wave of suppliers and subcontractors, and these will be high-tech firms with highly skilled employees that represent an opportunity for an area to become a high-tech hub. The hub in the Antelope Valley will also be about very large rather than the very small, as was the case in the Silicon Valley, the famous Silicon Valley. Then you have the greater Antelope Valley, which is ready for growth. It's talking about how there's a resurgence of commercial and residential development, and how there's an uptick in both commercial and residential developments all throughout the city limits. There's, labor. The demand for labor is soaring. Their unemployment rate has dropped and continues to drop. You see here from 2015 to 17, but it continues to drop in that area because more and more jobs are available. And I'm not talking about minimum wage jobs. These are jobs, as you heard, highly skilled professionals are coming to move to this area where it's the last place where it's flat, buildable land that you could build on here in California. There's numerous housing tracts that are currently in various the stages of development. Obviously, I talked to you about the high-speed rail. And then you have the fact that the BYD, now listen, remember that bus company I was talking about? They celebrated a grand opening of a 440,000 square foot e-bus manufacturing plant. So this expansion brought over 800 jobs to the Antelope Valley. Northrop Grumman currently employs over 4,300 people and is expected to grow by another 1,700 people in the next 2 years. And then not to mention all the commercial and retail development that continues to thrive. So you're talking about an area where it just continues to grow and grow and grow. So, and then you couple all that with that in 2028, the Olympics are coming to Los Angeles. And that the International Olympic Committee's payment could exceed over $2 billion. And this is a quote where it says, the agreement with the IOC, which is the International Olympic Committee, will allow us to seed a legacy of hope and opportunity and will lift up every community in Los Angeles, not in 11 years' time, but starting now and continuing in the years leading up to the Games. So this is a hot, hot area. You have Measure M, which is a Los Angeles County traffic improvement plan. It generated $874 million in 2017. This company called Kenkishiro is in Palmdale. They got approved? Yes. The modernization of the LA County transportation system that was building a 21st century network that expands subway, light rail, rapid bus, metro links, freeways, and the highways. Because in LA, we are unlike most cities in the country where you have this big city kind of feel and everything is very densely populated. LA is more like one gigantic suburb. In fact, we have 26 business centers throughout Southern California, and I'm not even talking San Diego, just throughout the greater Los Angeles area. So when you look at those 26 business centers, if we could put all of ours together, we would almost rival the way New York City looks, but New York City is very condensed. We are very spread out. So we're like, that's why people say in LA, it's just like one gigantic suburb. So we didn't do transportation well, because you have to have a car when you live in California, but things are changing rapidly now, or when you live in Los Angeles area, but things are changing rapidly in that case. Los Angeles County Traffic Improvement Plan foresees creating another 465,000 plus jobs across the region. Then you have that's being set to build the first new freeway in 25 years. So the California Department of Transportation, in cooperation with the Joint Powers Authority, will, they've already started this. They began not only buying the land to build, but they're building a 63-mile stretch of freeway through the high desert that connects the 15 to the 14. And what that means is you're connecting two of the largest counties, the largest county land-wise in the country is San Bernardino County, but it's connecting it to LA County. So it's amazing, because right now it's just a little two-lane highway, and it's kind of dangerous because people try to pass, and we're not used to just having two-lane highways here in California, but it's one of those kind of more rural type highway. Well, now they're building a complete freeway. They're going to connect those two areas, which is amazing. So there's a lot of great things going on, and then you have these KB homes that are energy efficient, and they call them double zero homes. So these are the newest Zero Houses 3.0 and the first KB homes designed to achieve both net energy status. So each home is estimated to save over $4,400 in energy and water savings annually. This is the northern LA County, has long been one of the fastest growing and affordable parts of Southern California, as you heard me mention earlier, with tract development spreading amid the desert scrub in Lancaster and Palmdale, which are the two largest cities in the Antelope Valley. And then the nation's largest metropolitan planning organization has estimated that LA County needs to build roughly 180,000 units. Now, they said this is between 2014 and 2021. They say they still need another 200,000 units by 2028 because of the growth that's expected. Remember, those 1.9 million people coming to California in the next 10 years. So, we keep saying we have enough people already. You guys can go back and stay where you live. But then the weather, I got to tell you, when you have over 300 days of sunshine and you don't have tornadoes and hurricanes and all that kind of stuff and no humidity, it's hard to say no to that. So it's pretty nice. Here's something I want you to understand. This is not just some whim that our experts, our wealth accumulation experts, are just doing. There's been excess of over 9,000 properties, so they've researched this area for over a 17-year period. So that's why they know they have the same elements that made the Silicon Valley. This area of the Lancaster, Palmdale area, the Antelope Valley area, known as the high-tech hub, it will become known as the Green Energy Valley of America. That's what you're going to be a part of. And so here's some of the results. Right now, they say if you deplete the top 10% and the bottom 10%, so the average annual property appreciation rate is 24% a year, and the average hold period is 3.7 years. Now, we say 7 to 10 years because we always want to, we want to under-promise and over-deliver. But that's what's happening here. So, who is land banking right for? Let's talk about that. It's for those that are looking for a long-term stable investment. Maybe they're recovering from this, volatile stock market loss, or they put their money out there in some of these, these very volatile cryptocurrencies and things like that, and got hurt. You don't want to have that kind of volatility anymore. It's someone wanting an investment that you can understand. It's very easy to understand because you have land. It's not going anywhere. They're not making any more of it, so you know what's happening. It's needed, giving you peace of mind about retirement. You're tired of worrying about economic volatility. You're worried about your estate, how that'll be distributed. So you can control that with land banking. It's also without a sustainable If you are someone that doesn't really have a sustainable legacy plan, or you're holding $40,000 or more in a qualified account or portfolio account or cash, land banking is for you. What can you do? What can you use to get land banking? Well, of course, there's cash, there's retirement accounts, there's the traditional IRAs and self-directed IRAs. You have Roth IRAs, SEPs, simple IRAs. You have 401ks, 403bs, defined benefit accounts. You have other things like trust, ESAs, 529 plans, 1031 exchange. So the wealth experts are the ones that you sit down and you consult with, and they can look at what your needs are, what you're trying to accomplish, to see if this is the right situation for you. That's why I love what we do here at MWR Financial. It's never a one-size-fits-all. It's never a, well, we just kind of do this, and you just got to hope that that works for you. It's always customized for your specific situation. So we have several people that are now land banking owners, and they are super excited, and they've seen any growth in their money. In fact, the most recent numbers have been like 37%, and of course, past performance doesn't dictate what's going to happen in the future, but they're having success, they're loving it, and this is what we do. We want to offer this for you. So if you've ever said, if I'd have known then what I know now, life would be different today, and I think anybody over 30 pretty much has kind of said that. So, but that's what you're doing. And if you have a vision and you want to know, like, what's your vision over the next 10 years, where are you going to be going in the next 10 years? What do you want to see happen for yourself? And here's what I've learned is dreams don't work unless you do. They just don't unless you do. So don't wait to buy land and wait. So I will tell you, this is where we were focused. Remember I told you on the 4 ways to earn income? This is the area I focused you on today, was about the investors and owning investments where you're leveraging your money to make money for you. This is the ultimate goal of MWR. If you want to know what our great CEO and founder, Mr. Brian House, what his ultimate goal was to see people do, and that was to win in the I column. That is it. To be able to experience that. So what he did is showed you how to go from the E and the S to get over here to the big business, the B column, and then how you can take everything that's happening here and the cash flow you're generating from what the other services are doing, and then all of a sudden you now can use that to start applying it to your life and seeing that $1 million at 7 or whatever your goals are, seeing that right out there, knowing exactly when it's going to happen, and having the ability by building a big business and leveraging that and building a huge distribution network that you could see that come faster than you ever thought possible. First of all, you might not even thought it possible and then see a clear path. But instead of taking 30 years, 20 years, you can have that come back to you in 15 years, 20 years, 5 years. It just depends on how much you want it, how big you do it. And we already have so many examples of success of people doing exactly that. It's amazing how there's going to be some people here at MWR, they're going to look up and they said after 5 years of working with MWR Financial, building a big business and got my distribution network going, and layers of leadership, that I literally have created an environment where money as an issue for myself and my family is no longer an issue, and that'll happen in 5 years. There's already people on that track. So and it's not just one person. There's a few that are already on that kind of track. So if it can happen for them, it can happen for you. Because what I love about MWR Financial is that what we do here at MWR, we make wealth real for people, and the only difference that from one person to another is how bad you want it, because everything is laid out for you to go get it. So if the promise is clear, and I truly believe this, that if the promise is clear, the price you pay is easy. So all you have to do is dream high, dream big, aim high, and you'll have a chance to live free. Drive the cars you want, have the kind of home you want, take the kind of vacations you want, and create the kind of memories you want for you and your family. It is right here. I am telling you, I've never been more excited about what we're doing. We're seeing things happening for people. every single day. So what I would do if I were you, here's the call to action. You should schedule an appointment with the wealth experts. See, you always begin with the end in mind. This is where I want to be, and this is when I want to be here. This is what I want to have and when I want to be here. This is how I want to live at this time. And then they start helping you work it backwards so you could take it from where you are today. That's the other thing I love about MWR. You do not have to jump through hoops because we meet everybody right where they are today. So I don't care if you have $2 million in an account, and we have some people here that are doing extremely well. They were already doing well, and they just saw a way to go to the next level. So that's exciting. But I don't care. So if you have $2 million, or you have $2, or you have negative $100 or $1,000 in your account, doesn't matter. You start, and we can meet you right where you are and show you step by step on how to get there. And here's what's incredible about it. Not one person that ever invited you to MWR will show you how to do that, talk to you about how to do that. Why not? Because the experts are the ones they're going to direct you to, and let the experts actually walk you through and do those things, because then you know that they'll keep you on track and you know it'll happen. So with that, and if you want to see the results of what I'm talking about, what I love that we do, we can prove it to you first. Just go over to MWR Testimonials, and you can just scroll to your heart's content, because we have thousands upon thousands of testimonials that are documentable proof that we do what we say we do. So with that, I'm going to wrap up the call here tonight. I'm just going to open up the lines. In fact, we'll get Daryl on here, with me, and we're going to kind of say goodbye to some people, good night to some people, and hope you all were able to get the information that you needed. And even though I'm not the expert, I hope I delivered it pretty well.
Yes, sir, Mr. Tulsa. You always bring the fire. I tell you, our senses are awakening each and every time we hear about this program, because these are the secrets of the wealthy. And now we have access to this. We want to thank you so much for your presentation. And again, folks, we do this each and every Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Be sure to get your members in on this information so they can understand the true value of our exclusive invitation-only membership. And be sure that you register for our national convention coming up in September at MakeWealthRealResults.com, MakeWealthRealResults.com. With that being said, we're all going to say good night.
All right, good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Adamo.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you, Adamo.
Thank you. Have a great night,
God
everyone.
bless. Good night,
Let's go make a difference in people's lives. Take care.
Good night, everybody. Thank you, sir.
Good night. Thank you.